Seems like a lot of these liberal woke women are speed running, ruining their own careers. Got another great episode of bucking around and finding out. I got a banger from Men Only. Let's get straight into it.
The fact that people are getting fired because they have spoken out against Charlie Kirk's hate is really upsetting. None of us are celebrating.
What hate are we talking about? He preached about the nuclear family. Don't let your skin color hold you back from doing something. Be a good man. Be a provider. I've looked at so many clips and I've yet to see him talking about hate or having hateful rhetoric.
His death. None of us. But we are openly speaking out against this horrific idea that he needs to be idolized, that he needs to be a martyr for a cause.
Y'all made him a martyr, though. Don't be mad at us. Y'all made him a martyr.
He was a horrible person. He did horrible things.
No, he didn't.
You're a liar!
Spoke poorly about women, about people of color.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
About black people, about immigrants, about literally anyone who wasn't a cisgender white male. And it's sad because...
See, when I hear people say this stuff, I'm like, you are so uninformed, it hurts. You haven't watched enough of his clips. Before you go in here and make a claim, please go watch some of his content. I've been watching more of Charlie Kirk's debates, and the more I watch it, the more I agree with. When he passed away initially, I made a video, and I said, I don't agree with everything, because I hadn't heard everything. I would be ignorant to say, yeah, I agree with everything that this man says, when I haven't heard everything that this man says. So I went and educated myself. I wish the left had a little bit of that inside of themselves where they go, you know what? Maybe I don't have all the answers. Maybe I should go check out some other information to learn a little bit, but they don't have that. It's this blind ignorance that they lead with that they don't want to ever learn. They don't want to ever educate themselves.
Our free speech is going to be diluted because people in the federal government are being let go. Teachers are being let go. People in the military are being let go because they have spoken out against hate. Because they have...
No. The people that are getting fired are spitting hateful rhetoric. They're celebrating someone's death. This man wasn't like a terrorist from Al-Qaeda. He wasn't an Iranian warlord. He was a good Christian man. What are you talking about?
Spoken out against what Charlie Kirk represented. And I want the names of every single private company, every single school who has let go of an employee who has spoken out against this. Because these people are on the wrong side of history, and we want to take note of what you're doing. Put them on blast. I want these people on blast who are letting go of employees simply because they disagree politically with the hate that Charlie Kirk spewed.
Won't they do?
Isn't that exactly what the right has said wasn't okay? Isn't that exactly what the right said wasn't okay? Didn't they say that, how dare you have a problem with Charlie Kirk simply because he disagrees with you? Didn't they say that? And now we have private companies and federal employers letting go of people simply because they're doing exactly that. They are speaking their minds. And
the thing is, though, freedom of speech isn't protected when it's a private company. Baby girl, like you can get online and bump your gums, and maybe TikTok won't take you down. Maybe something else wouldn't happen to you. The government's not going to come knocking on your door. You know what I mean? But if you work for a private company, that company has full autonomy on who they keep and for what reasons. Especially in some states, they can fire you just for smelling dirty. I don't like the way you look. Out. It's not. They don't have to sit there and litigate it with you. You can get fired for, and in Texas especially, I've been fired day of. Hey Levi, 5 p.m. Thank you for coming in. You're fired. I was like, man, that hurts. You made me work all the way to 6 o'clock. But they can do that. They have every right to do that. They're legally bound to be able to do that.
I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death.
I just want you to think about the kind of world we live in now. So free speech is no longer. Our First Amendment rights are done. Imagine if MAGA had been treated this way. The place that we are heading to right now, MAGA may be safe. The place we are heading to, no one's going to be safe.
Everybody's going to be safe. What happened when Charlie Kirk got assassinated? What happened? They held a vigil in his honor. What happened when other people were maybe killed by police? they riot. The left riots, the right holds vigils. They hold ceremonies. They pray. They come together. When something like this happens to the left, they riot. If this was a left-leaning activist, like if this was Destiny, or I don't even know who's a good guy, if this was somebody that the left idolized, they would be up in arms right now. They would be completely up in arms right now. But what did the right do? They held a vigil and they prayed.
Jeez. Lady?
Like that's what happened. Let's get it. This chick has a further story. I believe.
It's 9:05 a.m. and yesterday at 5 p.m. I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death. In the video that I posted, I specifically said I wasn't celebrating it, but that I just don't care. And yet I was still fired from a job where my role was to increase educational equity to all students.
That is a bull job. Educational equity amongst all students. Bro, make college not a scam again. Like, make it where kids go learn skills that are actually applicable to the real world. Equality and equity amongst all... Like, what are we doing, bro? And I went to college.
That was my job. That was like, wasn't really just my job. It was like my identity too.
Ooh, there's a very important part here. It wasn't just my job, it was my identity. Let's run that back, Turbo.
Like, wasn't really just my job. It was like my identity too.
This is the fall of the West, right here. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. The reason we have fallen so far, where pretty much all women are feminists, I think they did a study where it said, what was it? It was on Twitter. It was like, sorry, Chad, I'm a little under the weather here. It was like 61% of women that are aged 18 to 28 are part of the LGBTQ community or self-proclaimed feminist. I could be really wrong on that, so please, please, please don't quote me on that. But this is what I mean by we've fallen so far. Women nowadays are tying more of their identity to a job than they are having a family. I don't know what else is more important in this world than having a family. I don't know. Being a YouTuber's cool. Being a dog owner's great. I love my little son here. But there was something that happened chemically in my body, in my brain, in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit when I found out Cass was pregnant. I was so happy. Watching her grow our little baby throughout this pregnancy was one of the most rewarding things I've ever had. It was something that trumped all my personal accolades and all my success. Trumped all of it. It gave me almost a reset, like a soft reset on my reason for living. I feel like so many younger women, in chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. So many younger women, Gen Zs especially, and even some millennials, they've put so much weight in the importance of a job that if they lost that job, they lose their sense of self. They lose their identity. The familial unit has been broken. People don't want to have kids. But when I say people, I mainly mean a lot of these modern women. Because they did a poll, NBC did a poll, I covered it, I believe, on the last episode I did, or a couple episodes back. Go check it out. Where they polled Gen Z men and women, and Gen Z men typically lean traditional as they did 60, 70 years ago. 41% of them said that they want to have children. They want to have kids. They want to have a family. Only 6% of the women said they wanted to have kids and want to have a family. It's a massive disparity there. Massive. Very large gap in the markets right there. Men typically have always stayed traditional. They want women that are fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, no kids. That's it. Quaint, uplifting, elegant, empathetic, natural, and nurturing. You know what I mean?
Shubba should have bought a Honda, put it on a t-shirt.
But the list of things that women have wanted, they want men to be everything. 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 inches. Other women want him. You know? That's like the bare minimum nowadays. And a lot of these things, we can't pick to be that, chat. Almost everything that a man wants in a woman, chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Almost everything that a man wants in a woman, she has the choice over whether or not she has it. Fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, no kids. All 6 of those things, even quaint, uplifting, elegant, empathetic, natural, nurturing, those are all things that you have a choice to do. Men, 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 inches, 6 figures, and other women want him. The 6 foot thing is so difficult. You're either born tall or not. I mean, I guess you could go to Turkey. Go to Turkey and get your kneecaps extended. Yeah, let me get the extended limo Hummer kneecaps. You could do that. Not very viable. Girls these days can just go get a big BBL though. But now girls will walk around and if they see a guy who's not 6 foot, they're like,
Won't they do?
don't want to talk to him. You know how many men are under 6 foot? I believe only 14%. Let me just double check this, chat. Percentage of men around the world over 6 foot. Yep, 14% of men. Says this isn't a single exact percentage of men over 6 feet tall worldwide, but it's estimated to be around 5% globally. 5%. Approximately 14.5% of men are over 6 foot tall in America. Or adult men. I apologize. Yeah, the global average is 5'8". Around, okay, never mind. I was wrong once again. Double wrong. 14.5% of adult men in the U.S. are 6 feet or taller. Let's just round that up to 15%. Let's knock that in half, ladies. So you want the top 15% of men, right? Let's knock that in half, right? Now, half of those guys you actually find attractive. Let's knock that in half again. Half of those guys are gay, so they don't even like chicks. So now you went from, what, 15%, 7.5%. Let's do round numbers here. Let's just do 4%. So now you got 4%. Now, of that 4%, how many of those guys actually make 100 grand? Cut that in half, 2%. So you're talking about 100% of you ladies want 2% of the men. That's why I always say men are the prize, dude. Just with that simple math, and y'all know I'm stupid, dude.
Stupid.
Just with that simple math, you can tell that men are the prize.
Flawless victory.
Let's get back into this. Sorry, wrong one, wrong screen. I got too many screens to go from, chat, sorry.
Like that's been my whole career. Like, how can we get the highest quality education to as many students?
Without you there, I think they'll do just fine.
Gotcha, bitch.
For this job, I worked at a nonprofit where I taught reproductive health to LGBTQ youth and youth in foster care. And
are we serious? Why are kids even LGBTQ at that age? Like, just listen to this title. I worked at a nonprofit where I taught foster... Like, what?
For this job, I worked at a nonprofit where I taught reproductive health to LGBTQ youth and youth in foster care in Dallas, Texas. And, like...
Teach these kids how to start a business. Teach these kids an employable skill. Why are you teaching that? Why are we filling kids' heads with this stuff? Chat, am I way off base here, or do I feel like this is absolutely ridiculous? Like, who cares?
Won't they do?
Teach these kids a skill that gets them paid in the market. Teach them how to start a business. Teach them how to cut yards. Teach them how to be an arborist. Teach them how to be an electrician, a plumber. Find out what they're really interested in. Take those skills and be an architect for the skill sets they have. And say, oh, you're good at this. You're interested in this. Let's take that skill. It's applicable to this area, and here's how you can monetize on it. That's what you need to teach kids how to do. Teach them how to give back to society and their community and be a productive citizen. Not this stuff.
that was hard, but after I did it, I was so proud of myself, and I told myself I wouldn't go back to a job where, like, I couldn't be my authentic self, and I thought that's what I had in my job. And actually, the funny thing is, I wasn't fired for saying that I don't care about it, because everyone on my team agrees with that, or everyone I've talked to, and people can say that, and I would have been okay to say that in my team chat at work. But I was fired because I was doxxed by someone who knows me, and they posted my job and my LinkedIn to the white supremacists. And so that's why I was fired, not actually because of what I said, which also hurts because, like,
You're a liar!
Really? You just got doxxed and got fired all of a sudden? Nah, it's because of what came out your mouth.
I was good at my job. I liked it a lot. And I feel so grateful because my coworkers have been reaching out to me and just, like, telling me they'll be my references and making sure I'm okay. And
I'll be your references, girl, when you go apply to another nonprofit to try to teach foster children about LGBTQ.
it feels good to know that I built a community there and that the people there see my character what it was. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Sorry. I don't know if I'll post this. But,
Get to Starbucks, start making some lattes.
I'm addressing this comment, but no hate to this person. I actually understand the urge to say something like this. I have to imagine some of these places have been looking for reason to let people go. The job market's not good right now. Except my job wasn't looking for reasons to let people go.
How do you know? You talked to the CEO? Using all them board meetings, huh? Higher ups had you informed, huh? You was on a need-to-know basis, huh? You was in the who's who. You were Miss Owl around in parts. Who's who? Stop lying, bro.
You're a liar!
I knew everything. Dude, this is another thing that irks me, bro. When people say stuff like, oh, my company could never fire me. I'm the only person that can do my job. Dude, if the president, something happened to the president, they hiring a new guy tomorrow. Everybody's replaceable. Everybody. Like, if I stop making YouTube content tomorrow, somebody else going to be making videos. You know? It's just like Luigi Mangione or whatever his name was when he assassinated the CEO of United or whatever, the healthcare company. They had a new CEO the next week. They didn't. It was shameless. They had a LinkedIn post 4 days later looking for somebody else. You're replaceable. I think that's the point of like a lot of Americans right now. We are so egotistical and entitled, think I'm the only one that can do my job. No, you could be replaced really easily. Really easily. And I think it takes a sense of humility to own up to that and to be humble. I don't know about you guys, but I try to seem as humble as possible, and I try to have a lot of humility. Because I feel like arrogant people get arrogant outcomes. And if you're very arrogant, I'm the best that could do it, nothing can ever happen to me, something gonna happen to you, big dog. Own up to your humility. Own up to your shortcomings. You know your problems. It's okay to air it out and be human. People like you when you're human. I learned at a very early age that if you made fun of yourself, people really dug you. If I started saying, man, I really got a big forehead.
Flawless victory.
People liked me, bruh. People roasted me. You guys roast me all the time. I see it as a sign of endearment. When you guys roast me, give me a hard time, I think, these guys really like me. Or maybe you don't.
Gotcha, bitch!
Maybe you don't. Maybe you really don't like me. You know, I'd like to not think that. Because I really appreciate you guys, but you know how it is. But for real though, my dildo, you hate on yourself. It's like the 8 Mile movie with Eminem. When you hate on yourself, you take away the ammo that everybody else can have against you. You roast yourself, give you a sense of humility. You seem humble. It helps you. But I live my life that way. I'm only really arrogant around the guys I play Call of Duty with. And it's because that's what you do with your closest friends. You hate on each other. Like, I'll be playing the game and Cass will be like, oh my God, why are you talking to guys like that? I'm like, oh, I'm not talking to random people. These are my homies. I'm talking to the boys like this. I only speak out the side of my neck and talk foul to the boys I'm the closest with. You know what I mean? So, like, I give people a hard time when I'm close with them. I don't, like, if I'm meeting you for the first time, you're going to get very nice, humble, a lot of humility. And I try to keep the channel this way. I try not to be arrogant, because arrogance to me is something that if you have it all the time, man, it's just going to be something that bites you on the butt. It's like karma, you know? You act arrogant, overconfident, you think you're better than people. The universe is going to serve you up some karma. It's going to be on a hot plate too, and it's going to smell like dookie. Straight dookie. Let's get back into this.
I was just talking to my manager this past week about the promotion cycle. I was told by one of the senior VPs just this past week that I would be put on a special project because I developed...
I love it. I love it. Dude, I was in corporate sales for a decade. Higher ups, upper level management, they tell you everything to keep you working harder. Keep working, little busy bee. You little worker ant. Yeah, we're really looking to expand the team here, Jessica. Really looking to move some people up, you know. We've got our eye on you. We're going to put you on a special project, huh? Yeah, you got a lot of promise. Got your whole career ahead of you. See a lot of potential in you, Jessica. Stop believing them, bruh. They are lying to you, man.
Onboarding activity to help new team members. Let me show you some of the messages that I've been receiving since this happened from my coworkers. This one says, hey Cece, just wanted to let you know how appalled and outraged I am about this. Never felt more ashamed of this place than I do right now. I can't imagine what it must feel like for you. Just know that we're here for you if you need anything. I'm so proud of you for standing up and speaking out about what's right. This company didn't deserve you, but the team will definitely miss you.
Baby girl, ain't none of them gonna pay your bills. They can say all they want. Are they gonna be paying your rent? No.
There are a few different messages. We love you, CC. Absolutely, we'll all be in each other's lives. I'm so sorry, echoing what everyone says. Like, we'll stay in each other's lives. You can read the rest of those. And then there was this one too about someone telling me how much, someone above me, a superior, telling me how much of an impact I had on the culture of this company. Like, this, y'all, I understand the person's urge to say something like this, and I understand everyone's urge to say, like, well, what was, you know, look for an actual reason, but this was the reason. This was the only reason. I was a good employee. I contributed to the culture. The clients loved me. I loved my clients. I got fired for saying that I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death. That's really just it. They weren't looking.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. You should care. You should care. How about that? From an older guy, just turned 35 a couple days ago. You should care. You not caring is a problem.
That's it.
So she's out here crying.
And then also, I don't feel bad for her because you know what she could have done? Kept her mouth shut. You could have just kept your mouth shut, never posted anything about it. You said you could have just shut up. Never said a word. But yet you had to go talk. You know? So I don't know. It's so hard to feel bad for her because I'm like, you could have just kept your mouth shut.
I posted a video about how I was doxxed and fired for a video about not caring about Charlie Kirk, even though I specifically said I wasn't celebrating in the video. The job I was fired from was in pursuit of educational equity. It was a private company, and honestly, the people who called for me to get fired and the people who doxed me wouldn't even believe in the mission of this organization, which is so telling about where we are in this country, that companies are so afraid to just stand behind their workers. A liberal meme account reposted my video to X where someone that knows me posted my information. Once my information was posted, those people posted my CEO's email address and the phone number and then flooded my company with reports about me. Even though I was well loved by my coworkers, by my clients, I performed well. Earlier in the week, my senior vice president had told me that I was functioning exactly how a senior consultant should and that she was so proud of me. I was still fired from a role in educational equity.
Which, by the way, what in the is that? Educational equity?
Private company, because the alt-right didn't want me to work there because I don't care about Charlie Kirk. And now a video where I explain that has been deleted. I tried to post a video like this before and it got 40 views in an hour. So I also think I'm channel banned now.
So what you're saying is freedom.
Yikes. I mean, words have consequences, baby girl. You want to talk out the side of your neck? It's going to be like that. You know, it's so hard to feel bad for these young ladies that do this stuff. And, you know, I was talking to my homie, really good friend of mine, really good friend of mine. And we were talking about the assassination. And I told him, I was like, I was grieving like I had lost a good friend. Like it was my homeboy that got unalived, you know? And he said he felt the same way. He's like, bro, it messed me up bad for 3 or 4 days. He's like, I'm still kind of going through it. He's like, it really, and I was like, dude, I went through all the stages of grief. It really messed me up. And I think it speaks to a level of heartlessness if it didn't mess you up at all. If you didn't see that and go, man, that's awful. That's terrible. I was gutted. Like my heart sank. I had so much grief in my heart for Charlie Kirk. Rest in power, Charlie Kirk, by the way. Rest in power. If you don't, it speaks to a level of heartlessness, callousness, coldness. This man was a father, he was a husband, and he was hyper intelligent and preaching his own message, not hurting a soul. And for people to say they don't care or dance on his grave, diabolical. It shows to me that there is true evil in this world. Ain't that right, Lokes? You want another treat? Free? Wait. Can we get some freeze in the chat, please? Free. Go to your place. Good boy. Looks like she's clapping back again, though, here. All right, so what do we got, chat?
Oklahoma State Superintendent Ryan Walters posted a video saying any teacher that glorifies the assassination of the hero, Charlie Kirk, will have their teacher's license taken from them and they will never be back in an Oklahoma classroom. This is from
Awesome. That's beautiful. Love that.
From an Ed Week article titled "Teachers Across the U.S. Get Suspended or Fired Over Post Linked to Charlie Kirk." This is happening to teachers and professors all.
And the irony is that she was all about educational equity, right? Educational equity. Wouldn't you think you wanted to hear an opposing belief or all sides of the story if you were in educational equity? If you wanted to have equity around the education you're receiving, maybe? Maybe the information that was being talked about? Wouldn't it be a good idea to have a contrasting belief than your own? If we can't talk about this stuff on college campuses, where can we talk about contrasting beliefs? College is where your ideas, your philosophies, your ideologies should be up for debate. That's the perfect place for it. If we can't do that, then where do we do it?
All across the country. They are even posting quotes, direct quotes from this man, but disagreeing, are getting people suspended, fired, and doxxed. About the long-term consequences and implications of a generation of students whose teachers have to post the Ten Commandments in their classrooms, who have to agree with white Christian nationalists in order to be their teachers, and who are not allowed to talk about LGBTQ lifestyle in any way to affirm them at all. What will that do to these students? What does it do to a generation of students to tell them that they are not allowed to express themselves in those ways? But
no, here's what I've never understood about the whole expressing yourself and gender identity. Why is your sexuality the most important part of your identity? I've never understood that. Like when people are like, "Oh, I'm gay" or "I'm lesbian." Oh, okay, whatever. Why is your sexual preference the most important thing about you where you have to lead with that? Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. I don't see why that's so relevant. Why have we made that so important? It's I don't go up and go, "Yeah, no, only chicks for me, vaginal for me only." Okay, I'm a vegetarian. Okay, just getting that out of the way. It's like when you talk to a vegan for the first time. They're just sitting there holding it in, just like, "Okay, I'm a vegan. Okay, I can breathe now." Like, we don't care what your sexual preference is. Cool, keep that. That's that stuff you talk about at home. You don't need to lead out in the world with that. So why are we teaching this stuff? I don't know why we're teaching this stuff, because to me it doesn't matter. Why is your sexual identity the most important part of who you are as a person? Let your character be more important. What you know, your expertise, the things you're interested in, other than your genitalia and who you're attracted to. I just never understood that.
They have to get used to the bulletproof backpacks, the metal detectors. We're not going to do anything to them. It doesn't matter how many times they have to hide under their desks, because we want to play with our toys. What this, just like
the thing is it's not Republican people doing it, it's the liberal left. Shots fired! The Republicans are keeping them locked up in gun cases. They're hunting. They're not the ones doing the mass shootings, typically.
mass shooting generation, this youth, the implications and the PTSD that they have, we already see that. But now add on to it that they are taking, this administration is taking away the safe adults as quickly as they can and as many places as they can. Why is it that this time these people want to get people fired? This is a fascist state.
Freedom of speech is...
No, fascism is more like when you assassinate someone because you don't agree with them. In my opinion, that's more fascist in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm way off there though, Chad. In a fascist regime, people get assassinated when they have contrasting beliefs. That is more fascist to me.
2 of my unemployment, and I want to talk about the GoFundMe again because I really do appreciate
Oh my God, now we're e-begging. Good Lord. Get my GoFundMe. Now we're begging.
Well, and this is a good point that I didn't think of. Like, I'm hoping I won't be unemployed in 3 months, but like maybe I will be. My hesitation with the GoFundMe is that honestly, I grew up without money, and this is the best financial situation I've ever been in my life. And so something doesn't feel right about collecting money, but at the same time, it's like, wow, well, we did buy a home recently, and now I don't have an income.
Yeah, I was about to say, buy a home. Would you buy a condo? Yeah, you probably should have thought about that one.
So like, I don't know, I'm just having internal conflict because
she's looking like she's living like not downtown, but she got a nice skyline. It's probably an expensive condo. This is why I always say, bro, live below your means, brother. I live in a small 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that's 1,200 square feet. I live in a small little house. As soon as I had YouTube success, I didn't inflate my lifestyle. I still wear, dude, chat, this is the same freaking suit from when I started the damn channel. And y'all know I don't even like to curse. I haven't upgraded my suit. You know what I have upgraded though? The hair products. I have upgraded the hair product and the lights, you know. But that was more for you guys. Like the suit, I feel like the suit works. The suit fits, wear it. You know what I mean? This woman probably started making some coin. It was like, great, I'm going to go buy a condo, get a nice car, get a nice skyline view. That's where you messed up.
To me, just like doesn't feel right doing that. But then part of me's like, well, the other option is I'm actually at financially insecure. I know this is a ramble. I'm just trying to be transparent with y'all and where my thinking is right now. I think what would make me feel better is once I've spoken to a lawyer and I actually have an amount I'm trying to raise towards, I think maybe the discomfort is like just putting an open GoFundMe without a...
You just need to go to Starbucks, start making lattes. Yeah, let's keep it at that one. These people got to realize that your words have consequences, man. And, you know, as a creator myself, I realize this. I realize that my words have consequences. When I posted that initial video about Charlie Kirk, I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if you guys were going to hate me. I didn't know if I was going to get a ton of hate comments. I didn't know what was going to happen, but it felt right in my heart to talk about it. And y'all know I'm not very political. I've started stepping more into it because this really affected me. This Charlie Kirk thing really affected me. I don't know if it affected you guys, but it really affected me. I still think about it all the time. Like every day it crosses my mind. But I'm a soon-to-be father. So I'm like, you know what? It's time to start learning about more politics. It's time to start educating myself on some of these things because a lot of these things are going to matter to the next future generation. And I want to make sure I'm leading my daughter with the most clear head and the most informed mind that I could possibly have. And I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to my daughter if I did not. It is my duty as a father, as a husband, to be the leader of my household and to also learn as much as I can and lead with an educated mindset. It seems like a lot of these people on the left don't want to be educated. They want to lead with emotions and not logic, and that's why we're seeing a big downfall right now of all these people losing their jobs, getting their careers just ruined, because they don't want to be informed. They just want to be angry. It's truly sad. Ain't that right, Lokes? But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It was good to have you guys out. Until next time. Peace.